Hi. And welcome to the
Episode 20.
podcast, episode
20.
20.
Ooh.
We did it. We made it. If our podcast were years, we would almost be old enough to drink in the US. So we've made it. Look at us go. Yeah. Cameron, that's pretty cool. What do you have there behind you?
Oh, I have my my Andrew Award from the Andrews, which was a little award show that you put on. Now
I did.
I know how it looks. How convenient is it that there were two awards to be won and both
Right.
hosts won one?
Also,
Very
did you check
convenient.
underneath it? No. Well, I put an eyeball into yours.
I don't think you did, but
It must have fallen. Either way, Cameron's right. It looks like we could have just simply bought them for ourselves or fixed the award shows and, paid the Academy to give us these lovely Andrews. And if we did, you can't tell. But we didn't. I'll put this up too. I'll have a background of this episode. I won't have a background of this episode. But yeah, so we had a little Oscar party over at our house. My house, not our house. But my wife and I, yeah, we hosted a little Oscar party with our friends. Not all of them, because not
we
all
got too
are.
many friends, man.
We just
got
many.
too many
We
friends.
meant to put up a community post, but we just didn't. But no, we had a good turnout of the people we invited. 99% showed up. One of them or two of them live in Florida, so that's one. But I would say so. Cameron, how do you think it went? The party, not the Oscars.
The party went really well. The food was great. That's all I care about.
So we had two awards to be won, and Cameron and I, being the most film savvy, because we have a podcast. If anything, it'd be embarrassing if we didn't win. So we really had to try hard. But one of the competitions was best ballot, where you predict it. Cameron and I actually tied on that. So yeah. And then the other one was just a bingo sheet that we would all make, and originated last year, and it was a lot of fun. I think. But yeah, I'm hoping for next year to actually get more awards. So that way it'll be more rewarding if you do win multiple of them,
Yeah.
But we had cool cookies. There's a picture there of them. And I just saw Cameron cringe squint a little bit. Oh, that's so dumb. And then here's a cool picture of Cameron and I when we won the awards.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then here's a recreation of that picture.
And I'm not wearing my suit, so
yeah, me neither.
Yeah. But I'll recreate it. Yeah.
You can see the fat dumpy that these awards have.
These awards are so caked up for our YouTube. This is gonna get age restricted just because of how big the trophies' butts are. But
yeah.
Anyways, so
the 95th Academy Awards.
Yeah, that's why we bought them. So the 95th Academy Awards, aka the Oscars, happened on Sunday night, and I was super excited for them, especially off of how bad last year's was. They've
been in a pretty intense downward trend for the past few years.
Unfortunately, COVID was the spark of it, and it just, because I will say 2019 was a very good one. But yeah, so we had the unfortunate COVID year, and no one really remembers anything that happened in COVID. That was the gas leak year for Community. It's we just don't talk about it. And then there was 2021, which I don't. Oh, that was last year's.
That
Yeah,
was yeah.
that was the Amy Schumer
Mm-hmm.
other two hosts, and that was interesting to say the least, in a bad way. So this year they had Mr. Jimmy Kimmel himself
From the TV show that he's on.
from his TV show,
Yeah.
from that one talk show. He's back, and he is doing it for the third time,
Mm-hmm.
more than anybody else,
More than anyone
and
else named Jimmy Kimmel, even,
more than anybody else named Jimmy
or at
Kimmel,
least tied.
And maybe even Jimmy. I don't know how many Jimmys have hosted the awards, but he's probably the like biggest Jimmy to do it.
Yeah. James.
Um, yeah, who knows? That could have been a James. Either way. Um, so he did it, and I have been watching some people review these Oscars, and they have all said Jimmy Kimmel did all right. They said okay. No, I will say, comparing it to last year, Jimmy Kimmel did very well. I was
Right.
very surprised by how good he did. Now, of course, there's a cringy segment of him talking to the audience and Malala and all that. That's probably the worst part, that like the worst thing he did, I will say, like as far as cringe goes. Everything else, he had solid jokes that were landing, and I will say it was not bad at all.
That's the thing. I mean, with if you're like going to the Oscars looking for top of the line stand up comedy, then you're going to the Oscars for the wrong reason. As far as Oscars presentations go, this is about as good as it gets. You know,
Honestly,
like I
um,
laughed more than I thought I would, and it was overall they didn't spend 90% of the runtime dedicated to skits that had nothing to do with the Oscars.
yes. Oh my goodness. Like last year we had Amy Schumer in a skin tight Spider-Man costume hanging
Yeah,
from the ceiling, and it went on
they
for 5 more minutes than it needed to.
they dropped all the jokes about how like I've never seen this movie before. Why is it nominated? Like all that stuff. The only thing close to that was they made fun of how little money Babylon made.
Yeah,
But
which is unfortunate, but like also that was the only joke as far as not seeing anything.
mhm.
And another fantastic thing is they brought back all of the other awards,
Yeah,
which is amazing. I
yeah,
could not be happier. And he makes a joke about the runtime and how long it's going to be because of it. I do not care. I am super happy. I think everyone deserves their time to shine. And I will say, we'll get into some gripes about it a little bit later, but I'm frustrated that they didn't cut off anybody's speeches unless it was like those shorts people and
that's
all that
always
stuff.
how it's been. That's always how it's been. All the well, because you can tell. Like I feel like now this is all just a guess. There might have been a pressure to maybe start cutting off speeches, because they have all the awards back. But then as the awards started going, like this is the kind of speech that like there's speeches about like, oh, my husband's in a prison camp, and there's a speech about like, oh, I've come from so much, and like uh I could feel like it'd be so awkward if they cut him off right here. Like that'd be terrible,
Yeah.
but also kind of hilarious. Like
Hmm. Yeah. Um, it'd be like, what if they were doing a speech on like freedom of speech or whatever? They say,
right.
for constant years, voices are being silenced, do 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 do, or whatever, and then they play them all. But no, I will say, they only cut off two speeches, which
They,
was
they
unfortunate.
Yeah, they did this. There was a running theme throughout the night where they would let the first person like reach the mic just go for as long as they wanted, and then whenever someone else tried to walk up, they would just instantly play the music.
Yeah. Um, but oh well, that's not my biggest gripe of the night as far as like how like how the production went. But I think we should get into some of the winners, you know. Let's kind of go through the night. All
Okay,
right.
for some reason they did supporting actor and actress first. I think it's just because you got to
They
get.
did animation first.
So they did animation first, and that I didn't really have any opinions about the animation category. I know Ben, you're a diehard for every single one of those movies in that animation category. So go ahead and talk me
I
through
was
what you were thinking.
well, all right, I will
And
say
how sad were you when the Red Panda didn't win?
I was more sad that Lightyear never got nominated.
Yeah.
No, I will say I love animation. Who doesn't? Who doesn't love animation? All right. Now, I was super excited when Soul won a couple years ago. All right. I know not a lot of people were, but I still stand by Soul being one of the best Pixar movies. And I know that's my hot take of the episode. But I think Soul is incredible. My wife agrees. We have a really cool Soul poster that's still rolled up in the container,
Nice.
because that's how much we love it that we bought the poster. We also have Soul ornaments too, okay? But no. Uh and I love animation. And unfortunately, animations just started to go to the biggest and just studio instead of going to what rightfully deserves it. And you could argue that happened again uh this year. Now, okay, listen, hear me out. I haven't seen all of the animated nominations. I saw Sea Beast, okay? Excuse me. I saw Marcel the Shell. I saw Pinocchio. I saw what else was nominated? Turning Red. I saw Turning Red. And I was nervous they were going to give it to Turning Red for the beginning part when they announced the nominations. Because I'm like, Disney kind of always wins nomination for animation. And I'm a huge diehard Marcel the Shell fan, and I was expecting it to lose. When you go up against anything stop motion, that's kind of hard to beat,
I mean,
unless for
Marcel
some.
is stop motion.
But when the whole production is stop
Right.
motion, you know
And
what I
that
mean?
is why, in my opinion, I think Marcel had absolutely zero chance of ever winning, nor do I think it really deserved to
Be nominated
win.
or oh well, shut up, Cameron. Like I said, he doesn't care about animation. Cameron hates comic books. Cameron hates art in general.
Mm-hmm.
Uh yeah, so that's that. I
I'm
mean,
just not a fan of
Mans has a Last of Us
storytelling.
poster and a Minions popcorn bucket and on the same in the same frame. See, he views it all as the same, so
Yeah.
he doesn't get animation.
What a great way to
I have
tell someone that I don't like animation is to point out the Minions bucket on my post on my wall.
I have a Megamind poster with the Fablemans and
Yeah.
Back to the Future because I
In
view them
fact,
all
you
the
just
same.
proved your opposite point. The fact that I see The Last of Us and the Minions on the same level means I love animation more than you.
Or you hate The Last of
Nope.
Us so much.
Nope.
Either way, this is going for too long, like some of the speeches, so I'll kind of hurry this along. But um, it went up against a full stop motion thing, which typically they win, except when it was Fantastic Mr. Fox a while ago. That lost to Up, but which Up is incredible. Either way, Netflix won the animation category. I would have loved to see Marcel the Show win, but unfortunately, it didn't. And I mean, Pinocchio does deserve it. It's really, really good. So there's that.
Nice. Um, so they kind of messed up, I think, by putting the biggest shocker at the very beginning.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
dude, this is a plot twist.
because they decide pretty early in the night to do the supporting actor and actress nominations, which, by the way, supporting actor was in the bag from the whole time. So I'm surprised they didn't save that for the end so people would feel like they had to stay to see that guy's speech. And I'm surprised that Jamie Lee Curtis won Best Supporting Actress.
Jamie Lee Curtis shouldn't even have been nominated.
I don't think so, but I struggle to think of anyone who really could have taken her spot. Like I can't
Anyone from
think.
Women Talking, anyone
Yeah,
from
you already,
The
yeah,
Woman
that's it.
King.
Um,
Yeah. I'm
yeah,
okay. We Cameron and I have said this to each other before, where we think this is just like Hollywood trying to make sure the legend Jamie Lee Curtis gets her nomination, and that's why they nominated her.
mhm.
Um, like Leonardo DiCaprio in the Revenant, where it's
Yeah,
like, except they gave him the win because it's Leo, and they should have gave it to him last year, but they didn't. Type thing. It's like, how do you honor such a legendary actor? Like, how can she be legendary status without having one of these type thing? And I guess they're like, well, if she's nominated, that'll be fine. Well, surprisingly, she won. Carrie, dude, this is so frustrating. I'm frustrated she won. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Carrie Condon should have won, hands down. And she didn't get nearly as much love as I could have hoped, or anyone really. And Stephanie Shu didn't win, who was arguably the better supporting actress in the movie that Jamie Lee Curtis was in.
Yeah.
I don't know, Cameron. What do you think about this?
I think that I'm on both sides, because I don't think she deserved it. I don't even think she really deserved the nomination. But any win for Everything Everywhere is a plus in my book, so I wasn't too upset about it.
Sure. Yeah, like I'm happy she won. Congratulations to her. Like I'm happy for her, but me myself.
And due to her speech, we won the Oscar too because we supported
You're
her.
so right. And that's why we actually got these. That we got these mailed to us. And we're like, it looks different on TV. Is this solid gold? And I said, sure.
So Kei Kwan won Best Supporting Actor. I don't imagine anyone being surprised in that.
No one is surprised.
I don't see a world where anyone else wins.
No.
All those other nominees, all the other nominees did great in their stuff, but like you can't, you could like, even if they did better, this is kind of like the America's Got Talent thing where the story of how he got there, like this is not trying to discredit his performance, because he did. Performance alone wins the Oscar, but performance plus the story of how he got there kind of just like really sealed the deal, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
no. You even had the nominees, or the people that were nominated for supporting actor, knew they weren't gonna win. So I find that very funny too. No, but Ke Huy Quan had it in the bag.
Yeah, because Brian
Tyree Henry.
Tyree Henry, he was on the pre-show, he was doing an interview, and he was like, man, I can't believe it. For the rest of my career, it's gonna say Oscar nominee Brian Tyree Henry.
It is, yeah. No, I'm happy that they all understood. Let's talk about All Quiet.
Yeah, I was about to say they were making me sweat. They really, by the end of the night, it really seemed like only All Quiet or Everything Everywhere could have won, because they took everything, like Everything Everywhere won most awards, but anything they didn't, All Quiet was taking it.
All Quiet won a majority of the technical awards, which has happened before with Mad Max Fury Road and Dune. Dune last year won 6 Oscars, all for its technical awards, and Coda won Best Adapted Screenplay and Best Picture, and supporting
one of that, yeah, actress or
but
actor.
But so it's happened before where a technically good movie wins a bunch but still doesn't win the award. It's like a tease almost to anyone that's like diehard fans of that, because you see them like winning all these awards, you're like, oh, they could totally win this, and then they don't. I felt that way with Dune. I was super sad. But no, it's All Quiet is a great movie. It really is. Cameron and I will agree on that. And it's technically really good. I'm glad they didn't give it VFX. Very glad.
Yeah.
Very glad.
For the 5 people who watched our episode on that, they will know why.
Because we released it on midnight.
Yeah, I released it at 11:58 because I wanted to get it out before the day of the Oscars, and that killed the views.
Destroyed the views. Yeah. This episode also would have been out earlier, but I think Cameron and I were so tired from the day. Like we tried recording during the day, and I think we were just out of it. Anyways, All Quiet was it won what did it win? It won sound. No, it didn't win sound. It won score, which shouldn't have. And it's unfortunate that because Babylon tanked so much in the box office and people just don't like it, that it didn't win. I think Babylon should have won. And I think Babylon should have won production design, but also a movie that tanked.
I didn't, because I don't think box office has everything to do with it. But because like this, it's not that All Quiet doesn't deserve production design, you know,
but movie, that's great. But compared to Babylon, and I don't know, I'm just saying. Either way, so
it only won 4.
Only won 4, yeah. This
And that
third
seems
most,
that seems like it feels like it won a lot more
they won two in a row, one in the beginning and then one near the
towards the
end.
end. Okay.
And
Yeah.
I will say, they went on this streak of winning like two, because I remember like three awards were very close to each other, and it was like a long time since Everything Everywhere won something, and you were
Right.
like kind of like,
Right.
okay, let's
And they
relax a little bit.
and okay, so apparent from the discussion that I've seen of this movie online, people don't like the music in this movie. I liked it a lot.
I like the music a
I
lot.
love it a lot. And like people complain about like the like the motif, the like electronic like kind of
I
thing.
think it works super
I
well in
think
the
it works
movie.
well in the movie. And they play that every time they won an Oscar, which was funny.
Yeah, it was like,
It
okay,
reminded me
guys.
it reminded me of in the Zack Snyder's Justice League, anytime someone thought about Wonder Woman, they would play the same music in the background.
I have to hear the stupid dum dum
Yeah,
dum every time they win. No,
yeah.
but yeah,
So score, cinematography, which
production design.
production design, cinematography, I think it still is good with. I
Yeah.
agree. And then shocker of the night, international feature film. Who saw that coming?
I think that was more of an obvious win than any other win in this
Right. Like, has there
like
ever been
presentation.
has there ever been a time where more than one of the international features has been nominated
I
for
would be
Best Picture?
surprised. I'd be surprised. Apparently there was well, because I was looking when this is towards the end, I guess, but I was looking at what movies have the most Oscars. Are you okay?
I don't know what's going on.
What in the world?
I guess while I'm figuring this out, I can tell you that I watched Pulp Fiction last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
And
it was good. I feel like I'm
it's
missing something because I don't have the
it's
context of
overrated.
the time. I I can't say it's overrated because someone nowadays might say that the first John Wick is overrated, but if you were there and you know what was around, um, you know
Oh,
that it
well,
wasn't. So what
yeah,
I'm saying is I don't have the cultural context of what was being made at the time to say that it was overrated.
and that's true.
But as far as my current context goes, it's just a good movie. It's not like all time great.
The best part about it is its writing. It's like
Yeah.
I love it so much. It's so creative, so out of place, and it works so well.
Do you have a favorite of the three segments?
Dude, my favorite segment is with John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson. Uh and they got the kid in the back seat and they accidentally shoot
Yeah.
him in the head. Dude, I was cracking
I
up
love
when
that.
that
I
happened.
love that part. My favorite part is just like the whole thing with Quentin Tarantino's character, and they got to clean up the mess before his wife gets home.
So there's some technical difficulties.
You
As you can
guys get
see, you can't with Cameron.
right. Yeah. So,
Um, yeah, we don't know what happened. So just
so all you video only viewers are going to see what it's like if you were to listen to us on Spotify. It's like a little preview for the Spotify.
like his little banana figure too. You can just imagine that as like what Cameron
That's what
looks
I'm
like.
doing. Um,
So
so
yeah,
yeah,
hi. Anyways, what were we saying
all
before you
quiet.
got, yeah, all quiet. Um, one cinematography, which yeah, I could see that. Um, one score, production design, and international feature film. So it won those four. And I was looking at what won the most, Cameron, like as far as movies in the past.
Right.
And first place is tied between three movies. Can you guess them? You have like 5 seconds.
Okay, one of them is Titanic. One of them is um uh and the other two are Titanic.
Yes, all correct. No, it's Titanic, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, and Ben-Hur. Not the
Yeah. The
2016
one from
version.
like a billion years ago.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and I was looking at it, and Return of the King won everything it was nominated for, which is nuts. So
Hmm.
11 Oscars it won. Titanic was nominated for a lot of acting roles, I believe, and didn't win all of them. So it could have won, I think, 12 or 13.
Well, yeah, because Leo didn't get his until Revenant.
Right. And then Ben-Hur was won 11 as well. And there's
And
one
like if you adjust for inflation, that's like 37 Oscars.
honestly, yeah. No. But if you look at what Ben-Hur was nominated for, this is weird because Ben-Hur won Best Picture. Uh it was nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay and didn't win, but won Best Picture.
Yeah, I mean that's happened.
That's weird. That's weird. Because the way I view the Oscars, or as I'm watching them, I say whoever wins Best Adapted Screenplay and Original Screenplay are the front two contenders to win Best Picture. Uh, so with that being said, let's go on to Best Adapted Screenplay, which is it went to Women Talking, Sarah Polley, rightfully so, rightfully so,
I've
and
said
it's
it once,
unfortunate.
I've said it 1,000 times. You can't have talking in the movie. I mean, in the title of the movie, and not win adapted screenplay or
Yeah.
screenplay. That's why my first movie is going to be called Talkers Talking, and it's actually just a compilation of all of our episodes of the podcast.
Oh yeah.
But
We're gonna yeah. Writing that script is gonna be so fun.
mhm.
Anyways, uh Sarah Polley won, rightfully so. But it's frustrating because Women Talking should have won a lot more awards, I feel like.
Should have been nominated for a lot more.
There was a lot of movies that went home empty-handed, so I'm very glad it didn't. You
Right.
had Elvis that didn't win anything, which is a big shocker.
Part of my bingo card was that Fablemans would not win anything, and I was correct.
Yeah. Tar didn't win anything. Spoiler alert there, Cate Blanchett did not win Best Actress. It actually went to Michelle Yeoh. But after the way Oscars laid it out, after Jamie Lee Curtis after she won, I had no fear that Everything Everywhere was gonna lose any of the acting.
I still thought that Cate Blanchett would get Best Actress because, I
Not at
mean,
all. After watching Jamie Lee Curtis,
but that has no bearing on other acting nominations.
but it's the story, and it shows that the Oscars care more about the story than it does with the performances. Not taking
I think you're
anything.
reading into it, bro. I think you're a
No.
conspiracy theorist.
Maybe I am, but not taking
I do
anything
believe in
away.
the moon landing, and so I think that those were voted on separately for separate reasons.
Here's the thing. I'm not taking anything away from Michelle Yeoh. She was incredible in the movie. Cate Blanchett was also incredible. Okay. I'm glad Michelle Yeoh won. I was rooting for her. But I'm just saying the story for Michelle Yeoh is a lot better than Cate Blanchett's story for winning the Oscar. So that's my conspiracy theory. Sure, you can say that. But they won, and let's see, Fablemans didn't go home. Triangle of Sadness went home empty-handed, and they actually technically lost more because the most frustrated I was the whole
Yeah. Oh
night,
my gosh, dude.
and it is with the production of how they did the in memoriam, where Charles B. Dean, who is the lead in Triangle of Sadness, was not put in the in memoriam section. I hate Triangle of Sadness. I hate it. Okay. I would rather gouge my eyes out with spoons, feed it to my dog, and laugh at her than watch Triangle of Sadness again.
I
wouldn't
don't
actually
believe
do
that's
that.
true. Do it right now.
I
Do it
would
right now. Do it right now, or the next time I go to your house, we're watching Triangle of Sadness.
no. But no, I hate that movie. But I am really sick. I was sick to my stomach when she was not put in the in memoriam. I think that is disgraceful for her. I think that is a disgrace to the movie itself, and I think that's just a disgrace to her family. I think it is insane that happened, and I don't know how, from a production standpoint, you allow that to happen when you have a Best Picture nominee and its lead actress pass away shortly before the movie's released. I think that is terrible. That is so frustrating, and I feel sorry. I feel sorry for the cast and the movie and her family for that, because
that
I
is
think
a
that's
huge mistake. But they also made a huge benefit in that they didn't have dancers during the in memoriam.
that is true.
Because the point of an in memoriam is not to put on a show. It's to give the audience something to listen to while they reminisce. And also, Man, what an emotional introduction by John Travolta, who definitely was
Mm,
chosen because of Olivia Newton-John's passing.
yeah.
I don't know. That might be her name. I could have got that wrong. But um, except for that one major mishap, I think the in memoriam was well done. I did have it on my bingo sheet that Queen Elizabeth would be on the in memoriam, and unfortunately, that was not the case. Even though she was a very integral part of the Minions franchise, I don't understand.
She- no. Yeah, I was frustrated with it, and it was sweet to see John Travolta, but it was sad too.
Mhm.
And I just think it could be handled better. The fact that I had to look up the in memoriam on the Oscars and her name was in the like,
The website.
yeah, and that's
It was
frustrating.
on the website, but not on the broadcast. And like, who's going to the Oscars website other than Ben Brooks himself?
I'm the only one. From a production standpoint, that's my biggest frustration with it. But we'll get into more movies now.
No, we're not. We got to have a time dedicated to a special guest appearance from the Cocaine Bear. Um,
That was on my bingo sheet though.
yeah, it was.
I had Cocaine
What
Bear
a
joke.
wild guess. As far as guest appearances goes, mine was Queen Elizabeth in the In Memoriam and Mr. Beast. I thought Mr. Beast was going to show up, but
uh, yeah, Mr.
yeah,
Beast almost made it.
unfortunately, only Cocaine Bear showed up, which I didn't expect. We did have a little bit of a guess that Megan might have showed up, but I guess they they showed her too much during the nomination, so they didn't really want to, beat that dead horse for too long.
Right. But we got a Cocaine Bear. That was interesting. They not only
The
was it
Cocaine
so
Bear.
bad of a joke, but the joke died as soon as the bear walked onto the
No,
stage.
I think you're wrong, dude.
And the
Okay,
bear just stayed there.
anything that Elizabeth Banks or Jimmy Kimmel said about Cocaine Bear was dumb, but the guy in the costume killed it. Bro, when they were
Okay,
talking about Wakanda Forever, he did the Wakanda
the Wakandan
cross on his
salute.
chest thing.
Oh my word.
Come on,
Yeah,
man.
no, it was like
He
such
was
a
dealt a
dumb
bad
joke.
hand and he played it beautifully.
This is this guy's one like this moment to shine, and he
Unless
went
it's
for it.
just Brendan Fraser in there.
Give him 2 Oscars then.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert: Brendan
Um,
Fraser won Best Actor.
I'm kind of back. But I feel like I have to just here. I know a way to fix this. I need to blend into my surroundings by doing this. Okay, we can continue. Brendan
um,
Fraser. Oh, you
Brendan
know what this is?
Fraser.
I think I know what's wrong with the camera. This
What?
is what the multiverse looks like.
Oh, dude, it's the first thing Brendan Fraser says when he grabs the microphone is like, "This is what the multiverse looks like, or feels like." It's hilarious. Um, he was high on adrenaline, and
Mhm.
it was hype, and he gave such a great speech. It was awesome to see him win.
Yep.
First time nomination,
Represent
representing us. He could not have done it without
without
us.
us. Well, what I meant by that is the news station that started playing after the Oscars ran the headline indie born Brendan Fraser wins best actor because home state. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
us.
yeah. No, and he I mean, he did great. He carried the whale.
Yeah.
So, but speaking of the whale, it won the third most awards in the Oscars, and it only won 2,
Yeah,
which is
well,
weird.
yeah.
It's crazy. Um, we had we're not really talking about the shorts because we haven't seen all of them, and there's not a lot to talk about. So I'll just kind of say that. Either way, congratulations to all of you because I know you all after your after your win are tuning into our podcast to see what we thought. So no, congratulations to you guys. But Brendan Fraser won, rightfully so, destroyed the role, and it also won hair and makeup,
Yeah.
which is interesting. It's very interesting. I did not think it was gonna win. I thought Elvis was gonna win.
I uh I had flipped back and forth as some of you may have heard of the podcast. At one point, I said The Whale. At another point, I said Elvis. Um, by the time the Oscars had come around, I had been fully convinced back into my original thought of The Whale. Um, and good thing, because if
Yeah.
not, I might not be with my buddy Andrew right here.
I don't know if I would have given myself 2 awards. Nothing like hosting an event and then just winning it. I feel like what I'm gonna do next year next year is you had it, you had it, you had it. Oh
I gotta leave the frame,
yeah, you do.
and then he can show up. Oh well, okay.
Um
What's up?
yeah, I should not have yelled into the mic. So yeah, the whale won hair and makeup, and adapted screenplay went to Women Talking, and did Everything Everywhere win anything? Oh, besides the acting nominations? Yes, it did. It was a trick question. Yes.
Oh, I was looking it up.
Oh no. Yes, they did. They won a lot. They won 7 Oscars on Sunday. They won 3 acting wins. So they swept all the acting categories that they were involved in.
Mhm.
And they also won original screenplay.
Mhm.
They won best director, in this case directors.
Mhm.
They won best editing, which to no one's surprise, rightfully so in my opinion.
Mhm.
And then it won best picture. And is that 7?
Sure. I'm not gonna check you, but I that's the thing. Like nobody was surprised on the pre-show. They had like all the red carpet interviewers lined up. There was like 7 of them, and they're like, "So who does everyone think is gonna win Best Picture tonight?" And they all went down the line and just said Everything Everywhere, and they're like, "Yep." And then like, there wasn't really a shocker there.
They won 7 Oscars. And the Daniel said many speeches the whole night, and then we had the best speech ever given
No
on
person is above profit.
they had this guy go up there, one of the executive producers, I'm assuming, or
Yeah.
one of the guys that helped create it. I don't know.
Which, to be fair, at that point, the Daniels had already given like 13 speeches. They probably
Right,
didn't have anything
right.
else to say.
Well, then we know they don't, because they literally said we want to thank all the mommies out there.
Yeah.
So, but uh, he was this guy goes up there. He's like my dad always used to say, no person comes before profits, and didn't fix himself. I think he just went with it. So yeah, well, I
Yeah.
guess it's true. That's the Oscars for me. If I had to, uh I think this was probably the best Oscar ceremony I have seen. Its viewership was at 18.7 million, which is 2.1 million more than last year's.
And 18.7 million more than our channel. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So congratulations to ABC, for putting on such an outstanding production. No, they did a great job. It was a lot of fun to watch, and congratulations to all the winners as well.
Right. Hong Chow, friend of the podcast. You didn't get your Oscar, but it was
You're
tough
welcome
competition.
I will give you this signed or not signed.
You've earned an Andrew in our hearts.
Yes. You can earn an Andrew. We'll just give it to you.
Right. All you have to do is come to the show.
You have to be on the show.
Yep. Ben,
No.
you make one change. One person doesn't get their Oscar and someone else does. Who is
Jamie
it?
Lee Curtis, give it
What?
to Carrie Condon.
That is such a shocker surprise that you would say that. Here's a different thing. You add one movie to Best Picture nominations. Who gets it?
Oh. Wait, I don't. What do you mean? What is this question?
Ben, you're in charge of the Oscars.
The Oscars.
You get to add one more movie to Best Picture nominations. Who gets it?
Decision to Leave.
Nice.
Hands down, Decision to Leave.
All right.
Or RRR, but definitely Decision to Leave.
Final question. You get to there's a new award in town. Best podcast about movies.
Ooh.
But wait, let me rephrase. Best podcast with movies under 30 subscribers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Probably our competitors. Well, what did you think?
Yeah. Well, that's hilarious, man.
No, I would give it to the What Did You Think podcast.
I'd have to agree.
Yeah.
In terms of an Oscars thing, it's not like this was. There's not a lot to talk about other than the awards because nothing bad went down. Other than the
Right.
minor things. Oh, some of the most awkward live performances of music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I've seen
we had a few good ones. Rihanna kills it.
Rihanna. Yeah.
Rihanna.
Um, Renea.
Anyways,
Renea went hard.
Rihanna destroyed it.
Mhm.
And I would say what was it? Who else performed?
Lady Gaga. Oh yeah,
Not
not
to
to was great, even though
did
they didn't
such a
have
good job.
the guys from the movie.
Um This Is a Life was so bad.
Yeah.
So bad.
And yeah, it was terrible.
Lady Gaga's was interesting.
It was kind of weird.
She took off her fancy dress and took off all her makeup to sing the song, but it felt like she was acting while she was singing, like she was really trying to get that Oscar.
Here's the deal. It was a fine performance, I guess, but like the camera guy was like, we really got to see what like the inside of her nostrils look like right now. Like
Yeah. And Tell It Like a Woman was fine, except they gave a speech in the middle, which was like took away from the song itself. But what'd you think of the Oscars, Cameron?
It went well.
It went really
There's not a lot to say because like not as much went bad as you would as normal.
Yeah.
Amy Schumer didn't host it, so it went well. The jokes were fun. The awards were great. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's it.
All right. Good job, team.
Okay, listen to this. Everyone on Sesame Street is always talking about love. Yuck. But now it's time for me to tell you what Oscar the Grouch loves. The thing that Grouches love best of all. Oh, why